Here we go, Mad Dog. Hearing all about this crazy thing where you get paid to work out.
Yeah, it's good. It took some years to get there, but I'm fortunate that I've found ways to monetize my passions, hobbies, the people I want to be around, the environments I want to be in, and also feel like I'm adding value in doing that, both for an audience and for all of the brands I work with, which is really important to me. Like I really like to feel valuable now. I always talk about relationships over transactions. I like having relationships with people as opposed to just feeling transactionary. And I've been able to design a really cool life around things I enjoy doing every single day. And a lot of that is physical activity. I love working out. I love CrossFit specifically, strength training and anaerobic conditioning. I love mountain biking in the mountains. I'm here in Denver, Colorado. So, my back door is just a playground. I love rucking, trail running. So I get to do a lot of that. And then I also love sauna and cold exposure. And I've been able to align myself with brands in spaces all around health and wellness, to be able to add value for my audience and sharing my journey, and then adding value for the brands I work with and helping them amplify awareness.
Why do you like fitness so much?
I like the progress-based nature of fitness, that there is this sense of accomplishment, overcoming something that is difficult in the moment, and that every day there's a sense of satisfaction with it. And then over time, there's this, major physical, aesthetic, mental, emotional, um, like scoreboard that comes with it for yourself. Like I'm competing against myself. I don't really care about competitions anymore. I don't care about competing with other. I mean, I would be lying if I said that I don't like getting beat in workouts. And if I have a bad day and feel like I didn't place well, like yeah, I'm bummed about that, but I'm not going to like beat people anymore. I don't have that competitive hunger to beat others. I have this competitive hunger to be the best version of myself every day. And I know that physical exercise is a huge component of me being the best version of myself. It just brings out mental clarity, emotional well being, stress resilience on a day to day basis, the people I meet, the opportunities that come from it. Like all of these things, I've been doing it for 15 years now. So, it's just kind of rinse and repeat at this point because I've been doing it long enough to know all of these great things that come from it. And I also lived a very different life before that, chasing money, chasing the public perception of success, competing against others, drinking heavily, partying, not caring about what I was putting into my body. And just being like too in the moment of wanting that dopamine hit instantly instead of delayed gratification. So, you do it enough, you realize like there's another way. And that's what I've realized with my health and wellness journey is that these things I do on a daily basis, they fuel the best version of me so I can then have a full cup and I can give back incredible energy to others.
What was the switch from, to use your words, the old life to the new life, that transcendent from that position to the position you're in now? Obviously, it's not just a light bulb moment and we're just going to move through and everything's hunky dory and fine. You said 15 years, it's a long time. We have to dig, we have to keep on chipping away at that brick, right? What was the switch?
Yeah. Yeah, so there was no one defining moment of, I went to jail or, I had this reckless accident from heavily drinking, fortunately. Um, for me, it was more I got pretty out of shape and I started to feel kind of uncomfortable in my own skin. So in my late 20s, I think it was around 27, I hired a personal trainer who helped get me back into physically good looking shape. It was about a year to a year and a half of intense workouts, 5 days a week. I was seeing him in the beginning for 30 minutes, and then I think I upped it to 45 and even 60 minutes. And he had me doing CrossFit workouts before I knew what CrossFit was. This is back in 2007. So I'm 27 years old. Now I'm 43. And I needed that accountability. I needed that structure. I needed outside knowledge on ways to train effectively. And he had me doing complex lifts with my heart rate elevated. A typical workout would be thrusters, squats, deadlifts, pressing movements. And then in between a lot of those movements, I would be running loops on a track, an indoor track. And, CrossFit is essentially lifting weights, complex lifts with your heart rate elevated. So I was doing just that. And in a 12 to 16 month period, I shed about 20, 25 pounds of weight and put on some muscle and got my energy back. And, I started to get that post workout endorphin rush that everyone talks about. And it honestly started to feel better than any kind of feeling I would get from abusing alcohol. So that's ultimately why I really stuck with it, is the feeling associated with it. I certainly like the aesthetic, but the feeling was what I really got addicted to. And then I started playing tennis with a buddy, so I was getting in the aerobic exercise for 60 to 90 minutes a day. So now I'm doing double sessions. I'm doing personal training sessions in the morning, and then I'm doing an afternoon tennis workout. And then I found triathlon, and triathlon is what really changed my life to what it is today. That was when I started to excel as an athlete. I wasn't just doing things that were making me physically, look good. I was starting to do things that were very sport specific, and it was training and not just exercising. I learned about zone 2 training, the maffetone method of subtracting your heart rate from 180 to do a lot of your training at that heart rate to build durability and to build this aerobic engine and to teach your body to burn fat for fuel. I hired a coach, a triathlon coach. I'm a big proponent of hiring people that are more knowledgeable than you, that can get you to where you want to go, faster than if you just kind of stumbled there on your own. And it started with a sprint triathlon at 29 years old. And then at 30, I did an Olympic distance triathlon. At 31, a half Ironman. At 32, a full Ironman. 33, world championships, full Ironman. 34, a really good placement, world championships, Ironman. So, it was a 5-year journey, but it was really the first time that I became world class at anything. So what that taught me was, if you're serious about the 10,000 hour rule and you really dedicate a chapter of your life to one thing and put blinders on to everything else, like, that's how all these successful people become really successful. Luck is more a matter of how much purposeful practice you put into something, and then all of a sudden, like, you have this highlight reel from it. But very rarely is it the lottery ticket route. It's usually that person focused on something for long enough that they either got so good at it, they developed a skill that got them to where they are, or through all of the people they've met over the years, they met the right person, they gave them the right opportunity, and it all clicked, and monetary success came from it. So I'm a huge proponent in that 10,000 hour rule. And now I look at life as chapters. Like, if I want to get to the CrossFit Games, then I'm going to dedicate 5 years of my life to very purposeful CrossFit training. And that means I'm going to have to neglect some other things that I may enjoy in life to get there. If I want to build a, multi-$10 million business, that means that I'm going to have to focus on that for 5 years. And there's going to be some sacrifices along the way. So I think it's best to focus on one thing at a time and live your life in these 5 to 10 year chapters. And, once it no longer serves you, or you've reached where you want to get, then move on to the next chapter. But don't try to write multiple chapters at the same time.
Yeah, I think there's so much to be said about dedicating towards one thing, right? And going as hard as you can in it. Like, I think luck is resilience. I really do. I think it's how many times are you able to get out of bed and lay a brick? Eventually you're gonna zoom out and you're like, oh, okay, I got a wall now. I've not just got a stack of bricks, right?
Yeah.
You've literally just got to keep going. And then I think there's a beautiful point that you alluded to at the end, is like, sometimes you then have to reevaluate. Maybe it's 4.5 years, maybe it's 9, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 3 weeks. But you're like, am I going in the direction I first wanted to? No. Okay, cool. Am I going in the direction I want to now? No. Okay, that's fine. All we got to do then is rudder adjust. and
Mhm.
carry on somewhere else. Like I
Mhm.
think we get stuck in this mindset of a career, right? Where we have to
Mhm.
be this one thing, this one mold. And you're like, all right, well, at 18, I'm going to choose what I want to do. 3, 4 years later, I've got everything that I need to know. And here's a ladder, mint. You're going to be on the same spot and just crack on until you're 60, 70. Like,
Mhm.
we really are singularly minded, one-sided individuals. So aren't we supposed to be this very multifaceted, complex, emotional pain in the ass that we are as humans, but also beautiful things, right? We can mold, we can change. It's not pleasant. It's going to be painful sometimes, but that's kind of the point, You kind of tested. Do you really want to do this? Yes. Okay. Here's another little bit of adversity. Do you really want to do this? Yes. Okay. Here's another one, and so on and so forth. And you've got to keep going, man. You got to break through, and that's when we get the 30-year overnight sensations, right? You're like,
Mhm.
well, you didn't see this person get up and grind every fucking day. They're not
Mhm.
with you on the trails. They're not with you in the workouts. They're not with you on that PT session. All
Mhm.
those little things, all those little breadcrumbs lead you to Hansel and Gretel's house, as I say.
Mhm.
It might be lessons that you learn in the corporate scene. It might be lessons that you learn as a PE teacher, but they all add up. You've just got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, starting is the hardest part in anything. It's the changing your behaviors, your routines, your environment, your friend group. Like that's all really hard to do, but
Yeah.
it's necessary. And they don't all have to happen at once. It's literally like getting into the gym for that first time to get your 30-minute workout in, and then, replicating that 3 days a week, and then replicating it 5 days a week. And then all of a sudden your friend group is going to start to change from that. So it's going to make wellness easier. You'll meet a training partner, you'll meet someone who wants to go for runs and do outdoor activities, hiking and rucking and biking on the weekends. And then you're like, damn, okay, this environment that I'm in currently doesn't really serve these new hobbies. I'm going to change my environment and go to a new place that makes all of these things that I'm doing now easier. So that one decision, it's crazy looking back on it, how many things can change over a 2, 3, 4 year period just from that one decision to go to the gym for 30 minutes that day. So starting is the hardest part.
Yeah, it's that cascading effect. It's a domino theory.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to get in and do something. I
Mm-hmm.
think people get like a cat in headlights because they zoom out and be like, oh my God, I got to do all this work. I was like, yes, eventually you're going to have to do all that work, but you just got to zoom in, right? Zoom into the day, zoom into the hour. What have you got to do? All right, I got to get my fat ass out of bed. Okay, cool. Check one, get out of bed, mate. Check
Mm-hmm.
two, what are you going to do next? And then over time, you're going to create a series of momentum, right? And that momentum is going to prove your competence. And that competence is going to increase your confidence, which means you no longer need willpower. You no longer need, oh, fuck, I got to get up and do this thing again. It's like, no, no, no. Now it's going to turn into discipline. Now it's going to turn into habit. Now it's going to be like part of your soul, right? You said 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you'd feel weird if you don't do it. It's just like me and going to the weight room. I'd feel frigging weird. I'm like, no, no, no. I feel antsy. Something's off. Oh, I've not trained today. I've not like doused myself with a little bit of adversity,
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Aristotle quote of adversity exposes you to you. I
Mm-hmm.
really, really love it. It unpeels some layers of yourself that I don't think we can access without physical adversity. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't. What have you learned from yourself from that?
What have I learned for myself? I think the biggest thing I've learned is I can control my my outcomes, my emotions, my mental clarity, my energy, and a lot of it is dictated by movement, lifting heavy weights, being outside, doing something aerobic or anaerobic, what I eat. Like a lot of these things in my teens and 20s, I didn't realize the effects or how much control I had on how I felt. And it was really through the Ironman years and the long running, biking, swimming sessions that I started to put two and two together of wow, like these different things, what I'm putting in my body and the physical exercise like they're making massive differences in how I feel. And all of a sudden, I have so much more control over my energy levels, my emotions, my mental clarity than I ever thought I did. Without taking caffeine, or without using alcohol, without having to be around others, without having to go to a party, without having a nice car, a nice suit on. Like all of these were through just physical exertion and what I was putting into my body. So I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my wellness journey. That people often ask, do you have a bad day? And I'm like, of course I have a bad day. Do I have down energy days? Of course I do. But so much of why I stick to my structure of morning workout every day, generally afternoon workout every day, recovery session every night, is I know that by doing those things, it's going to put me back to good spirits. It's going to put me back into really great emotional well-being. It's going to give me mental clarity. It's going to reduce stress and anxiety. So that's so much of why I do the things I do every day, is because I know it's going to control my mindset, and it's going to control my energy levels, and it's going to make me a positive person, even when the uncontrollables happen in my life.
I love you for saying that, mate, because I think you've just highlighted perfectly of you've taken accountability. You're taking accountability for your own self, and not just your body, but your mind as well, and how you approach mentally, and how we're going to have mental clarity the next day. And we go into relationships, and just like people passing in the street, saying hello, you've put yourself in the best possible state. I think most of us are in a roller coaster,
Mhm.
and we're not dictated where we're going. We're just kind of going up and down and round and round. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, keep your hands in the car at all times. And people are just screaming, just thinking, how the fuck does this thing stop? And how do I get off?
Mhm.
Take accountability. What can you
Yeah.
do? Like, I think I think that's a question we've got to ask ourselves a little bit more. What can you do? What can
Mhm.
you do? Look
Mhm.
yourself in the mirror every morning. What can you do? Maybe it's 5 minutes walk around the block. Maybe it's stretching. Maybe it's, I don't know, meditation. Maybe that doesn't work for you. No problem.
Mhm.
Maybe it's getting up later. Maybe it's getting up earlier. I don't fucking know.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, what can you do?
Mhm. And I think it's important to find things that you enjoy, and find things that are more easily accessible to you.
Yeah.
For example, like I love mountain biking because it's right out my back door. I can do it easily every single day. Whereas if you live in New York City, mountain biking is going to be difficult. Like you got to
Yeah.
transport your bike 2 hours to get to a mountain bike trail, and there might be traffic, and there's all these things that can get in the way of doing that thing that helps you with the state change. So I always recommend like finding things you enjoy. Like I look forward to mountain biking every single day. I look forward to my CrossFit workouts. I look forward to the people that I'm interacting with when I'm in the CrossFit gym. I look forward to my sauna and cold exposure sessions. We have it right here in our backyard. I have access to cold streams within 10 minutes of the house. So all of these things are really accessible to me. But if I was in a big city, like a yoga studio might be more accessible to me. Meditating in my apartment might be more accessible to me. Going for a walk, around my city blocks might be more accessible. So find things that are something you can build into your routine without a lot of hurdles, and things that you enjoy, preferably with people that you enjoy being around, because I also believe that it's tough to do these things in isolation. Like it's a lot more fun if you're doing them with other high energy, positive people.
Mm, that's for damn sure. Getting that inner circle around you, man. Positive influences on you.
Mhm.
What are you trying to find?
I mean, I think we're all trying to find happiness, presence, flow state, purpose, progression in life, giving back, feeling of fulfillment. So, I mean, all of those things are things I think about. How can I build my day to achieve those? And I mean, I don't really have these long-term lofty goals because again, I've been living my life in this way for long enough that I know that good things come based on
Yeah.
how I live my life. I have figured out my perfect day And that can change over time. Like there might be a time when, like, I mean, I gave up triathlon. I thought triathlon was going to be something I did for the rest of my life, but I no longer found passion and purpose in it. I felt like I was just going through the motions. So I switched gears, and that was hard, and it took some time to switch gears, but I recognized that it wasn't serving me anymore. So I switched to something else that was fulfilling on a day-to-day basis, because you have to the journey is so much more important than the end result. Like you need to find purpose, progress, passion, uh, fulfillment in your day to day. Otherwise, it's just not going to be sustainable. So, I continue to live these days of purpose and fulfillment, and I know that by doing that, I have this positive energy that attracts opportunities, and I just rinse and repeat day after day, and that's how I live my life. So that's really what I chase now, is just continually figuring out what is my perfect day and how do I replicate that.
What is your purpose?
Purpose is having a cup so full that I have energy to give back to others, and to attract opportunities. I mean, I have this list of tiny wins that I try to achieve each day. And I mean, I'll try to read all of them off without looking at it, but it's getting outside for at least 60 minutes. It's getting my heart rate above 150, doing something aerobic for 60 minutes, meeting at least one new person, doing something community oriented, telling those closest to me that I love them, appreciate them, bonding over contrast therapy, dinner, just doing things that form tribe and deep bonds with others, lifting something heavy, getting at least 7, preferably at least 8 hours of sleep, doing things where there is skill involved in it, as simple as like making the perfect espresso in the morning, to becoming a really good mountain biker, becoming a really good Olympic lifter. I love doing things that are skill based. What else? Planning an adventure. I think it's so important for us to have things to look forward to on a regular basis. So I always have things in my calendar, I mean, daily pretty much, that I look forward to. That's the majority of them. So that's kind of my why, is like I want to live my life checking off these tiny wins every day, because I know by doing that, it's going to give me, my cup is just going to be so full that I can then give back and add value to others, audience, brands I work with. And, obviously, if you're able to add significant value, then generally there's going to be some kind of compensation involved with that. And we all need to make a certain amount of money to live a comfortable life in today's day and age. So I recognize that, and I'm not just out there playing all day. Like there is a work component to this too, of, okay, if I can add enough value for an audience and I can add enough value for a brand, then money is going to come from that.
That transported me back to about 4 years ago, man. I got a really good friend of mine, and he introduced me to the concept of the small wins. You got to collect as many small wins as you can. I wasn't in the greatest of mental spaces at the time. Just got over to New Zealand, and within about 4 weeks, I was sleeping on the floor of the gym. Anyway, long story. And one of my mates, I ended up coaching. We became mates, And he said, "Alex, simple." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You just got to try and collect as many small wins as you can."
Yeah, it's true.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, small wins? He was like, "Have you had a coffee this morning?" I was like, "Yeah, of course. Of course I have a coffee every morning, because that's a win." It's like, huh, okay. And that little shift in mindset just, first of all, broke my old mindset. Beautiful. Sometimes you got to do that. And allowed me to be reborn, essentially. Think about it in a different manner. Think about it through a different set of eyes, and was just like, oh, shit. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. Small wins, grateful, gratitude, things around, appreciating the things around rather than always chasing the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we know that's there. We got to forget about it for a couple of seconds and just take a little step around. And yeah, those small wins are really powerful, man. The little things and the big things. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, I think certain personality types are fueled by progress. I certainly am.
Yeah.
So for me, like I need progress every day. Otherwise, I don't really feel alive. I don't feel like I'm contributing. I don't feel fulfillment. So I like building my day around progress, things that are yielding progress, as small as they may be. That's a huge component of why and it's proactive too. Like you want to like I like defining my days. I like, living my days on my terms as opposed to just being this to-do list or being reactionary the entire day. Like I want to be proactive in designing my day and making sure it's in a way that is going to provide fulfillment for me.
What's next? Where are you going?
What's next? I mean, upcoming, we're renting a house in Austin, Texas for 2 months, and we're setting it up as an experience house. So we're going to have a sauna there, ice barrels for ice baths, red light therapy, and we're going to be hosting nightly recovery sessions, nightly dinners, and we just want to build a wellness community around the house and around the brands we work with and around a lot of our friends in Austin over a 2 month period. And then we may replicate that in Southern California a couple months after that. It's something similar to what we've already done here in Denver. I mean, our backyard here in Denver is this wellness clubhouse where every night we have people coming through to do contrast therapy, sitting in the sauna, going in the ice bath, back and forth, and then people stay over for dinner afterwards. And I love that. I mean, I've always enjoyed hosting. It's changed over time, the type of hosting that I've done. And now the type of hosting that I like to do is stuff that forms community around wellness practices. So that's what's next is more and more of those in-person type things in different cities, putting on wellness retreats, co-hosting wellness retreats, attending wellness retreats, community workouts. Like love doing in-person things that just bring people together. And I feel like knowledge, bonds, and energy are so much more transferable when they happen in person with people. So more and
Yeah,
more in person. Social media is a great conduit to in person, but in person is where the magic happens.
for sure, man. And I love the concept of building community. I think we need more of it.
Mm-hmm.
This technology is unbelievable. That's how we're communicating right now. It's incredible. We're across time zones, across seas, oceans, landmass, whatever. It's unbelievable. But people are extracting themselves from the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're having Zoom meetings with somebody literally 3 cubicles over.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just go up and look in their eyes? Feel
Mm-hmm.
the energy around them. I think we're losing those social cues. I coach in gyms and I see a lot of folk come through, and over the years of coaching, I've been doing this thing about 12 years, and I've seen the social development decrease
Mm-hmm.
of adults. It's
Mm-hmm.
scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
like as we're getting older, we should be getting wiser, right? No, we're getting more and more socially awkward. It's like
Yeah.
fucking hell. Like you stood right next to someone. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was like, how did you not see him?
Yeah. No awareness.
No awareness. And I think more community is a beautiful way to go, mate.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Brother, I got 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
What's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Movement is medicine.
Mm. What's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received?
Um, Living life to please others.
Yeah, that one sure as hell hit me. What are the 3 words you tell your younger self?
Um, Man, 3 words. I can think of 3 sentences. 3 words would be um, don't chase opportunities. This is going to be one of the 3 words, but I think a big piece of advice is not not chasing things, but becoming so valuable and developing a skill that's so valuable and developing a network that is so valuable, investing in yourself so much, becoming this magnetic ball of energy so that you don't have to chase things. You can things just come to you because of how much value you've added from the skills, the network, all of that is the biggest piece of advice. And you're going to probably have to write this surviving chapter at some point where you're going door to door. Like, I mean, I did it for 7 years. I went door to door. I sold insurance, and I built this foundation that and skill set that then enabled me to not have to chase opportunity anymore. It allowed me to attract opportunity. So I think that's ultimately a place that you want to get to, is developing this skill set, developing this network, developing this energy that allows you to attract opportunities into your life instead of just constantly chasing.
I really like that approach. I really like that mindset rather than be stuck in the survival mindset, right? We should be thinking about trying to thrive, trying to build, rather than chasing our tail and staring at our feet. Sometimes you just got to look up and see what's over on the horizon and the path
Yep.
that weans in and out of the trees and, goes back a little bit and then sideways. And you're fucking hell, this is taking forever. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
just be with it, man.
Yep.
Brother, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me, Alex.
Thanks for doing all the things that you do, man. And hopefully I can get over to Colorado and we can go mountain biking. We can
Open
get in
invite,
the
baby. I got two
get
bikes.
fucking hell. I'm in. I'll let you know when I find myself in the middle of the US.
Sounds good.
My man. You have a great day, mate, and we'll speak soon.
You too. Cheers, brother.
Awesome, man. Bye, everybody.